Hi all, FreaksyDev here. In the previous video, I've covered how to create a simple blockchain in 60 lines of JavaScript. If you haven't watched it, be sure to check it out. I've put a link in the description below. I've also written an article of this video on dev.to. I put a link to that too. But the thing is, our chain is still at early stage. It haven't had the main components to be called as a cryptocurrency yet. So today, let's implement its basic structure, which is the transaction system with gas fee. By the way, the code shown in the video was made by me and my great fellow Apple. Check our social medias down below to support us. So what we are trying to achieve. So basically, we need to have a representation of a transaction that includes the sender's wallet address, the receiver's wallet address, and the amount we are sending. We will add it to a transaction pool, and when we create a new block, we'll move all pending transactions to that block's data. To prevent faulty transactions, we'll use a signing mechanism along with a key pair. The key pairs that will include two keys, a private key and a public key. The public key can be shown to others as a wallet address. The private key is used for signing transactions. Because only you hold the private key, only you can sign your account's transaction, ensuring safety. We are also going to implement mining rewards. It not only helps provide miners for your blockchain to keep it up and running, but it also plays a big role in a consensus mechanism, basically encouraging nodes to be miners as it would be more beneficial rather than be attackers. And also, we can't forget about minting, initial coin release, and gas fee. So let's start coding. So according to what I've said, you should have a class called transaction to create transactions. Okay, so the from property is the sender address, to property is the receiver's address, and amount is the amount we're sending. So moving back to the blockchain class, first of all, we need a transaction pool which holds all the pending transactions. Now we will have a method to add a transaction to the pool. So we also have a method for mining transactions. And we would also like to clear the transaction pools as we have moved it into the new block. Okay, so let's move over to mining rewards. So first we will have to have a mining reward property. You can set it to whatever you like. I'll set it up to 297 for no real reason. So now we shall create a transaction that transfers the reward to the miner. So basically, we will create a new transaction and stuff it inside the transaction list. Okay, so basically we create a new transaction. So I will just pass in create reward address as from for now, but I will do stuff with it later. Don't worry. Just understand that it will be used for rewarding users. And I would like to say a little bit about minting here. So this is a well-known term in blockchain development. It simply refers to the act of adding more coins or printing more money. To be simple, when the chain gives miner a reward, it is actually minting coins in the meantime. So technically this is called a mint transaction. So now let's move over to signing. We can't miss the signing mechanism. It's essential. Before we proceed, it's important to do some research about signing first. It's a popular mechanism in cryptography, so I'm gonna leave a link to that in the description. I will use an algorithm used by Bitcoin and Ethereum, the SCP-256K1, for generating key pairs. Since we're staying simple, we wouldn't want to implement the algorithm on our own, since it's terribly long and can even be longer than this video. We are using a package called elliptic, and note that elliptic also supports curve 25519 and other algorithms too. I will leave a link to the description. So for now, open up our trusty terminal. And we're gonna install it through npm. Okay, so let's so we can generate a key pair by simply we need to import the library first. So we can generate a key pair like this. So for now, I'm gonna just comment it out. And we can also get the public key by simply using a method called getPublic. And we want to get the hex representation of the key. Okay, so now let's create a sign method in the transaction class. So first of all, before we do anything, we need to ensure that the public key is equals to the form address, because we shouldn't mine others' transactions. So we're gonna create a signature using our sign method. So basically, we're gonna compress all of the content of this transaction with a hash function. Okay, and we'll encode it to DRE. Okay, so we now have our signing method. Now we need to update the validation method in the blockchain class. So the chain is valid when all blocks have valid transactions. Transactions are valid only when from, to, amount are not empty, and the sender address need to has greater or equal than the amount sent. and the signature matches with the data of the transaction. So first, we'll create a method in the blockchain class to get an address balance for convenience. So we're just gonna iterate over the chain. And then iterate over the transactions in the block, right? So if the address is the from address, the balance should be decremented because we are sending money away. And that's the opposite if it's the to address, since we are receiving money. And then we're gonna return the balance. So we will have a method like this in the transaction class to check the transactions validation. So if you don't know, TX is just a shorter name for transaction. So we will check if the from address exists, the to address, and the amount. And then we will check if the balance is valid. So we're just gonna get the key from the public key to verify the signature. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be concatenating. Alright, so inside the block class, we also need to create a method to check if it has valid transactions or not. And we also need to update the is valid method of the blockchain class. Okay. Okay, so now we need to check if a transaction is valid before pushing it to the pool. Okay, so now let's get back to minting as I promised. So first, I'll create an address just for minting. So we also need to update the mine transactions method. And I'm sorry, it's supposed to be mine transactions. Okay, so now we will create a transaction for reward. Okay, so the chain's address will have an exception, so its balance will not be checked since we are printing money. So we need to update the isValid method from the transaction class as well. And also its amount must be exact, same as the defined reward. So we're just gonna create an OR operator here. Alright, so now we will release the first few coins ever. Okay, so going back to the blockchain class, we'll make some changes to our Genesis block. So we will make some coins for one address, and if anyone wants to buy our currency, they will lend us some money and we'll send them coins. This is also called a contract. So first of all, I will create the key pair first. And in the Genesis block, we simply create a transaction for the initial coin release. So we will release 100,000 coin. Now, wait, I need to update the mine transactions first, so that they can't cheat, right? It should be different to zeros, because if not, they can just mine. They can just mint and then mine in the same time. Okay, so now there's a problem with minting. So if you're wondering if anyone can access the minting address, can we print out a lot and a lot faulty money? You'd be partially right, but we are going to handle all our problems with a peer-to-peer network, which I'm going to make in the next article. So the peer-to-peer server handles the problem by simply dismissing the chain of which block that has more or less than one transaction for minting, or it has lower than one transaction other than the mint transaction. It basically means that the guy is constantly minting blocks without actually producing some real transactions. Okay, so let's implement gas fee. Okay, so there's also a kind of miners reward called gas fee, but it's a little different. It's basically users rewards for miners. This makes mining more appealing to miners, and it also pays for the energy used for mining. And people would have to pay a higher gas fee to be picked by miners quicker. So we are adding the gas property into our transaction class. I'm gonna set it default to 0 because you can set it to whatever you want, but yeah, I'm staying simple here. We also need to include gas here, and here. Actually, so we will update the get balance method too. So now the balance will be decremented with the gas fee from the transaction, and we should give the gas fee to the miner too. So we gonna calculate the total gas fee that the miner will gain mining the block. Okay. So we're gonna plus the gas fee also. And I forgot to remove this transaction. I'm sorry. We need to replace this with a reward transaction. So now we have transaction fully implemented. So now let's test it. Oh, I forgot something up here. I'm sorry. This should have been the initial coin release transaction, and it should be a new block here. Okay, so now let's test out our chain. So your original balance is 100,000. So I'm just gonna create a key pair to test out our transaction functionality. So we will create a transaction, and we are going to try transferring some money from the holder key pair to the girlfriend wallet, right? So we're just gonna get the public address of both, and we're gonna send, I think let's do something more random, and we will set the gas fee to 10 because why not. And then we will sign the transaction with the key pair, and then we're gonna add the transaction. Then we will mine our transactions, and I will use the girlfriend wallet to mine this one. and I will log out the balance of both. Once again, let's just get the public address. Copy that down, paste it here. Okay, perfect. Oh wait, wait a minute. I've just noticed there's a semicolon here, and we haven't actually created a blockchain. Let me create a blockchain first. Okay, so now let's open our trusty terminal. We fire that up. Okay, so I'm gonna get the calculator to solve this thing. So if you look at the transaction, so originally the holder key pair has 100,000 coin minus 333 minus 10 for the gas fee. Then we got here, so it's correct. And now the girlfriend wallet, it starts at 0 plus 297 as a mining reward, because it's the miner here, right here, plus 10 for the gas fee, and plus 333, which is the money that holder key pair sent to girlfriend wallet. Okay, so you can see that it's correct here. So that's my take on building our own transaction system. Thanks for watching this series. If you have any question, don't hesitate to comment below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification for my upcoming videos. And for now, peace.